2 years after the release of Marvel's Spider-Man, Insomniac Games would get back into the kitchen to cook once again. However, instead of a whole meal, we'd get a snack in the form of Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's a short spin-off game based on Miles Morales' version of Spider-Man and takes place after the events of the first game's DLC. In this review, I will be going over what makes this game worth full price while also pointing out some things that could possibly be used to justify why this game should have been a DLC. Without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Similar to the first game, the story starts off with handling a villain from Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. Last time it was Kingpin, and this time it's Rhino. Peter and Miles have to stop him from rampaging around the city, which results in a very interactive tutorial for the game, which includes learning how to swing, basic combat, and the Venom abilities which you use to defeat Rhino. Afterwards, Peter tells Miles that he has to go to Symkaria with MJ for a bit and that he would temporarily be New York's only Spider-Man. He also leaves Miles a gift, if you want to call it that. Surely it doesn't get worse than this. Anyway, all you need to know is that Miles is basically left in charge of protecting New York, or at least Manhattan, while Peter is gone. I'm not going to go too deep into a story analysis because there's other YouTubers with more experience that have already done this, and because like I mentioned before, it's short. However, I will say that similar to the first game, there's a lot to do with the personal life of the protagonist. Miles is trying to do right by his friends and family while also trying to be the best Spider-Man he can be, but those two things end up intertwining in ways that make it difficult for Miles to do both. To be fair, it's not his fault that his uncle is the Prowler and his childhood best friend is the Tinkerer. Although I liked the story, one thing I really didn't like was the fact that we only get to experience Finn and Miles' relationship through flashbacks. Meanwhile, in the present day, it was just Finn showing up, her and Miles talking about the past, along with some flashbacks. Then Miles finds out she's the Tinkerer and we get that mission where Miles infiltrates the Underground's base of operations in Fisk Tower. Once Finn finds out Miles is Spider-Man, we don't really get any of those character building heart-to-heart scenes like we did with Peter and Otto in the first game. Keep in mind that the Tinkerer is one of the main villains in this game, but I honestly couldn't find a reason to really care about her like I did for Otto in the first game. She does have great character development and her motives for taking down Roxxon are made clear, but all of those moments were relegated to flashbacks. Also, Simon Krieger was really just put in there to be some generic rich villain with his own army. There's no character development at all with him, and you could tell from the first interaction with him that he commits nefarious acts and is overall a fraud. Personally, I think this story has its shortcomings, but is overall okay considering that the game's short. Not gonna lie, I can tell I'm gonna be repeating myself a bit with that last statement, which honestly just justifies the argument that this game should have been a DLC. The gameplay is also nearly identical to the first game. They trade off the amount of gadgets in the game for Miles' new abilities. The Venom abilities are overpowered. Seriously, once you get your upgrades, you can fill the meter really quickly and basically spam these. The invisibility, on the other hand, was cool, and I understand it's part of Miles' character in the comics, but in the game, it just serves as a get out of jail free card for stealth encounters. They also added the Venom Jump and Venom Dash for swinging, which made the traversal slightly better than the first game, and it also gave players another reason to do tricks while swinging since those recharged the meter. Besides the Venom abilities and invisibility stuff, there's not much else that changed up the gameplay from the first game. And similar to the first game, there's some collectibles and side missions to keep you busy in Manhattan for a bit. Rather than backpacks, there's time capsules. Photo ops are replaced with postcards, Black Cat stakeouts replaced with sound bites, and there's also a cat. Like the first game, you get the platinum by just playing the game. The only trophies that were somewhat of a challenge would be the 100-hit combo and the trophy for completing a stealth encounter without being seen. There are also 2 trophies for paying respects in this game, one for Miles' dad and Stan Lee. I had to end my trophy grind by paying respects to the man himself. Overall, I think I justified this game being more of a DLC than a full game. I completely understand that this game was released around the same time as the PS5, and they wanted to get a Spider-Man game out on the PS5 as soon as possible. I gotta admit, it was nice not having to wait for any load times. However, the game is very short, and the only replay value comes from the upgrades exclusive to New Game Plus. Don't get me wrong, this game is good. There's just more to be desired from something that is priced the same as a full game. That's going to conclude my review on Spider-Man Miles Morales. Thank you so much for watching. I know this one was a little shorter than usual, but so was this game. I'd also like to apologize for the delay with this video. Some family stuff came up and I had to be away for a bit. Nonetheless, I am back now and have more videos in the works. I was originally thinking of doing a God of War 2018 review, which would then be followed by the God of War Ragnarok review, but I wanted to ride the Spider-Man hype train a little more because after going through all three games, I noticed one big problem that all three of them have. What's the problem, you may ask? You'll just have to wait and see. For now, I'd like to thank you once more for watching, and I will see you in the next one.